So, as you could tell, I just got through running across the cornfields with my dogs to come over here on a Saturday and say hi to everybody. So I'll get better at this. We'll get higher quality in the editing room because I do all my own production too. Anyway, again, love you guys. Go say hi to somebody. Just wave at somebody. Start there. Just wave at some people. Younger people, older people. I did that backwards, didn't I? Younger people, older people. Just go out and say hi. Let's start. There was a hashtag that Barbie wants to get started. I'll have to look that up. I'll have to look through some of the old films. We need to be pulling together and discussing these items, and not be afraid to have a dinner. What do they call it? Table dinner, or around the dinner table. Politics is a device to keep this country moving forward. I know that all the people in the middle class want this country to keep moving forward. I also know that the politicians we have currently in place on both sides of the aisle, some way more than others, but we have a situation now where the politicians don't want us to necessarily move forward. They want, in our education and our information to be lower and lower so that they can control and control more. They have very perfect lives, really. And these are the things we don't understand. You know, we need to really be able to have the courage and have the patience to be looking at our politicians more directly, with more information. As I've said before, we have a utopia coming, and if we don't have control over our politicians, as that utopia comes, then we won't have that utopia. We will be moved into whatever needs that the country has, without the rewards. This middle class of America has been stronger and done more than my own. I know I'm biased, but than any other. As a matter of fact, all the middle classes, around the world, is what the economy is built on, and we have no say at how that money is spent.
Leave a message.
Hey everybody, how you doing? This is Rod Duff with Insights and Straight Talk. Today's one of those open mic Fridays where it's just me, the microphone, and the moment we're living in. No guest handoff, no polite transitions, just straight talk. You know why? Because that's exactly what this country feels like it's missing right now. This week, I published a new column. Column number 2 comes out every Friday on the Mangum Star. But anyway, I published a new column. And I'll be honest with you, it didn't come from theory or punditry. It came from watching families strain, schools fracture, conversations collapse, and leaders talk at people instead of with them. It came from listening to the great middle class, the people who do everything, and I mean everything right, and still feel like the ground keeps shifting underneath their feet. That column and its commentary, it's not just that. It's a line in the sand, a reminder that communities don't regenerate from slogans. They regenerate from presence, accountability, and systems that actually serve human beings. The response to that column tells me something really important. People aren't apathetic. They're exhausted by noise, exhausted by division, exhausted by institutions that just no longer listen to them. Let me make one adjustment here. that no longer listen, you know? And that's exactly why this show exists. Insights and Straight Talk was never designed to be safe. It was designed to be useful, to say the things others avoid, to ask the questions leaders dodge, to create a table big enough for disagreement without dehumanization. This week also marks something new for us, a new sponsor stepping forward, and I want to be very clear about why that matters. Sponsorship here isn't about logos or ad reads, it's about alignment. It's about organizations willing to stand behind conversations that challenge comfort, that protect families, and most importantly, that invest in long term solutions instead of short term optics. When a sponsor steps into this space, they're not buying attention, they're backing responsibility. More on that soon, but understand this, it signals momentum. And frankly, momentum matters. Now let's talk about let's talk about why the Regeneration School Project is really more urgent than ever now. We're watching a generation of kids and parents trapped between outdated systems and accelerated realities. Schools overwhelmed, teachers burnt out, parents, they're confused, kids are anxious, disconnected, and told to sit still in a world that no longer sits still. It's a regeneration. It's not a theory. It's a response. It's a community rooted, counselor supported, world learning framework designed to rebuild confidence, agency, and emotional health, not just test scores. This isn't about left or right. It's about what works. It's about giving young people tools instead of labels, direction instead of discipline theater, and adults who actually show up. The Regeneration School Project exists because waiting for permission hasn't worked. And pretending the system will fix itself is a lie we can no longer afford. That brings me to something I want to say plainly, directly, and publicly. I want, I'm asking the current administration and members of Congress, governors, agency leaders to come to this show. Not for gotcha moments. No, we're not into gotcha moments. Not for viral clips, but for real conversations about the direction of this country, about families, about education, about workforce, workforce readiness, about mental health, about what policies look like when they finally meet reality. This platform reaches people who don't feel seen by press conferences or partisan panels. We host conversations where disagreement it doesn't equal disrespect, and where accountability is optional. Okay? It's not optional on this show. You have to be accountable. You have to have your moment and you need to step up to it. If we're really serious about rebuilding trust, then leaders need to step into spaces where they don't control the script. If we're serious about unity, then we have to stop confusing silence with peace. If we're serious about what the future, then education, families, and communities, regeneration cannot remain talking points. They must become priorities. Open Mic Friday is where I pull back the curtain, where I say what many of you message me privately out loud, where I remind you that this isn't just a show. It's a growing civic space, a place for ideas to be tested, not traded, a place for solutions to be built, not branded. So today I'm asking you, stay engaged, share the column, support the sponsors who support truth. Talk to your kids, talk to your neighbors. And if you're in leadership, political, educational, or institutional, the invitation is wide open. Sit down, talk honestly, listen fully, because regeneration doesn't start in Washington. It starts in conversations like this right here. And we are just getting started. So let's do that. Let's get started. Let's have our conversation today. Wow, there's 250 people on. I appreciate you folks being here. We are working on a bunch of different things, and we've got some exciting times ahead. Like I mentioned, we have another sponsor stepping up shortly, working on the paperwork back and forth. Please subscribe, like this episode, like every episode, but most importantly, join the conversation, join the movement. This is where Regeneration School Project started, where I should say, voices at the table is for creating a voice, or creating the place where teens' voices can start to be heard and told, and their stories can develop, and their lives can move forward. The Regeneration School Project isn't about dramatically changing the school system. What it is about is creating one additional core subject. For now, let's just call it life. Where teenagers start to learn how to manage life, not just learn how to take tests, learn about finances, learn about entrepreneurship, learn about your country and your family and mental health. And this is a counselor driven program that rides right alongside history, math, science, English, life, to prepare us for life. However you want to say that, I'm really coming to understand that people in our times are at a critical moment. We're at a place in time where our needs are not being met. Of course, I don't think that's anything shocking or new. But as a general rule, our needs as a civilization, as a community, as the great American middle class or the working class anywhere across the world, you've got to realize something, folks. You're the backbone. You're the heartbeat. And when I say the backbone, I mean the backbone of our economical system as well as our industrial system. Having trouble with PayPal this morning for some reason. Our ability to flourish in the world coming through AI is going to be seriously hindered if we are not in control of our political leadership. Our political leadership, like all political leaderships, are really self-fulfilling. They're about self. They're about the political leadership's own self, not the people for who they govern. Just to kind of go over a couple things once again, this is not a democracy. Our country is not a democracy, which is good. The reason I say that it's good is because if you have the majority, hold on, Producer Barbie is texting me something. It'd be easier if you called there, Barbie. But let's see what she has to say. Image. Yeah, we were talking about that, her and I. Let me just get sidetracked a little bit here. One watching now started meeting 14 minutes ago. I assume that's what you're talking about because I show 251 people on right now. If you could do it in the comments instead of on the text, it's less ugly that way, so to speak. But yeah, I've seen that before where it shows one watching right now. So you're not actually seeing it up on the screen. You're seeing it in the comments on YouTube. But we show here 250 people on, have been that way for several 10, 15, 20 minutes or so. But I won't bring a lot of that up. We're going to have to figure out. I don't have the comment area. Okay, so there's no comments on right now, Barbara, producer Barbie. But you can post a comment down at the where the comments show up. Now, do you want me to take that off or that on? That's where the comments show up down here in the lower corner. And she must be trading right now. That's why she's not. I don't have the comment area. Yeah, it's so strange. We're going to probably have to do this offline, Barbie. I'm going to make this a short show anyway. I want to get back and the dogs are feeling better though, by the way, producer Barbie. Boomer's doing very well and very solid, if you know what I'm talking about this morning. So if some people can make a few comments here, I'd appreciate it. So, because we're also trying to work out, if you'll notice, or I don't know if you have noticed, but we've started using this thing called Mars within StreamYard. And what it does is all right. So we're going to have to, well, you're on air, Barbie. Speak up and say hi to everybody.
Hello, everyone. Yeah, I'm just giving Rod here a quick little shout out and just letting him know we're just trying to sync up the viewing screens because what he's seeing is different from the other end. So sorry about the technical difficulties. We're working on it.
So right now we have two comments that just came up. Can you see those comments there? Where you
on the screen, but I don't have the comment section for me to be able to send a comment.
How can you not have the comment section now?
Here, I'll take another screenshot and see how it looks. Normally there's a little open panel for comments.
Yes, to the right, correct? To the right.
Right. And when whatever setting you have it on, it removes my open panel and just the messages scroll on your end.
Well, no, it's got to be on your end because people can comment. I mean, you're seeing there's a third comment just came across.
Hold on.
So you must have your comment section closed. You have to open the panel. There's a bunch of people commenting on this right now. But you must have yours closed on your screen.
Choices for yeah.
I mean, you've commented on it before.
Yeah, because it's there. This one it isn't, and it only shows one watching. Streamed 18 minutes ago now. One watching.
18. We're actually at 20 minutes, but I don't know what that means. That's interesting. So are you on?
Go ahead and go back to your show. I took some screenshots. We can tackle this later.
All right. I'll talk to you later. Bye-bye. All right. Bye-bye. All right, folks. So welcome to live, right? Let's just dive into some of these questions here. Maria. Hi, Maria. Oh, beautiful picture, Maria. How can we get more communities involved in the Regeneration School Project? So being here on Fridays and or Saturdays, depending on how the week is rolling out. Um, Email me here. Let me put in my email. RODDDUFF at outlook.com, or you can go to I'm going to have you go to my website, which is RODDDUFF.com. I guess I should put the www in there, right? So email me, and I will get you. We have a newsletter called Substack that goes along with a bunch of this. Here, let me put it up on the screen here. And then I'll get, of course, I'll get back to the questions as well. Oh, I did it twice. So that's my email, rodduff@outlook.com. The www.rodduff.com is the website. And sign up for our Substack, which is Insights Straight Talk, all one word, Insights Straight Talk, all three words are one word at dot. I'm sorry, let me start over. Insights Substack, Insights Straight Talk .substack.com. Go there, and we have of course, and I'm about ready to run a special for more paid subscribers. Right now it's $9 a month. I'm going to drop that to $2.99 per month, so that people can get the full message. And we also have a free version. So it comes out 3 days a week. We do Barbieisms on Monday. We do pages or poems and pages on Wednesday, which is free to everybody. And then on Friday, we just dropped the open mic Friday one earlier this morning. And in there, there's a lot of talking about getting involved in Leaf Lab, the Leaf Lab program. I'll really start talking about that a lot more coming up. But email me, and we can put some things together. What community are you in? Also, there, Maria, that'd be helpful. We've got a couple of around the nation. We've got a couple of pilot programs. We also have some internet school programs that work these right into our systems. But yeah, let's start talking. Be involved. Let's join. Let's join forces. I'm starting to work on the political side of things, and really going to start pushing to move this movement forward through what we're talking about here. So there's a number of ways to do that. If you want more, if you need more information, Maria, let me know. Okay, Gerard, how you doing? What role should parents play in rebuilding the educational system? Need to get involved. Parents, this is probably the most important thing that has happened to this nation since its creation, for sure. Being involved in the school as it is now, find out and tying this in with Maria. I talked to Simon last week. If you remember, he was on the show on Friday last week, a week ago today. And Simon made a very good point. And, whoever you have a friend, whoever is a friend or somebody you know well within a certain school system or a district or a school itself, reach out to them, have them look at some of these programs, and I've already started doing that and communicating with teachers themselves. So parents should really start driving this forward, and talk to your kids, talk to your neighbors. We need to quit being in these boxes, and we need to start being a larger us, a larger group, a bigger force, the giant, great American middle class, by extension, the world, to be honest with you. So those are just some suggestions, simple things. Just it's that same thing, getting more involved in your own life. How do we encourage leaders to have honest conversations publicly? I want them to be on the show. There's no reason. Well, there is lots of reason, and none of it's good. But there's no reason for them not to do this, to not come on the show. We're not here. We're not Fox. We're not CNN. We're not MSNBC, where we're only trying to get at a one party against the other. This is about the people. This is about us. This isn't about the Democrat Party. I can give a shit about red or blue in that case. I'm wearing red and blue. But I'm yellow. I think yellow is the independent color, isn't it? I don't know, whatever it is. But so is Bernie Sanders. So what does that mean? At the end of the day, it's about what your beliefs are, what your track record is, what your history is, and what you have the ability to affect. That's where the decisions in our leadership come from, need to come from. They don't now, but that's where they need to come from. And we need to drive that message forward. That's how I'd answer that. Kobe, how you doing, Kobe? How can creative kids thrive in systems that don't understand them? Exactly the point. And that's why we need to have tied-in counselors, not counselors that show up once every couple of years, your junior year in high school when you're deciding whether you're going to go to the trades, whether you're going to go to college, or whether you're going to go straight into the workforce, whatever that case may be. We need to have that relationship, that joined at the hip, so to speak, to each person, a counselor who registers interests, grows and discovers and develops those interests, so that the children, the teenagers, the preteens, that each of these counselors are connected to, tied in with the space that Leaf Lab is putting together. Kind of like, picture it in your medical history. You that follows you around, like on your e-health or whatever health insurance company you have. You sign into the back office, the website, and you have all your medical history there. Same thing as what we're developing to put into your history. So you'll have medical history, academic history, and then developmental history, let's say. And these are things that with AI and with the way the world is developing now, schools really need to catch up to that. And on top of that, they need to re-emphasize or refocus on the emphasis, on what they're emphasizing in being there for the American people. So the counselors would be directing. I think ADHD is way overdiagnosed, and the reason being is because the parents, not the parents, the school system isn't equipped enough, doesn't know enough, doesn't have the tools enough to be able to educate people how they should be educated. We learned in this week's lineup that much of what we're doing isn't adequate enough coming out of our school systems for the much more educated populations that we have sending through them in today's world. So there's a lot to be done, but how can creative kids thrive? They can't unless parents step in and provide, or they get that lucky special teacher, that one in a bundle that show up. So the odds are stacked against creativities or creatives. Jason, What's one practical step families can take today to support their kids' mental health? Be open with them, have conversations with them, be the quiet in a noisy world for them if that's what they need. Follow the Barbieisms. Barbie is very dedicated to uh, really nice, quick, beautiful comments that stick with you as you ponder it. So I'd say the to be present, as I put in the opening monologue. Doesn't matter if you're perfect, even if you're dented. You know, kids want to see you. Be honest with them. Tell them about your failures. Show them your wounds. Maybe not all of them, but show them you can survive too. That you have survived. They will then learn that they'll survive too. These are things, you know, being involved, being part of, being in it is important. So that's how I would go there. Nick, how do we bring clarity back into a culture full of noise? Great question, Nick. As always, you guys are, you know, you come up and you step up and amazing uh you bring amazing comments and questions to a world that needs it right now. So how do we bring clarity back to culture, into a culture full of noise? Yeah, good question. I think we have discussions, we have watch parties. Um, because here's the other side of it. Do you even know what to believe today? You know, news that comes out, social media hits that come out. You don't know if they're made up, if they're real. It's so hard to really try and get clarity today in all this noise. So what we need is human interaction. That's what's missing. I always talk about the boxes we put ourselves in. Let's get out of those. Clean it up. Let's move on. Let's move into a world of today. Let me hit this. How do we help neurodivergent students feel seen instead of judged? Well, we have to catch up to them as a society, as an educational system. We have to catch up to them. That's where the real issue still sits. Is we're sitting somewhere so far behind. So, for more information, folks, I told you I'm just going to make this a brief one. We're at about 30 minutes or so. Hook up with me at give me an email. Tell me how I'm gonna start sending some letters off to Congress and to President Trump. Um, I don't know why, but I just have a feeling that there's an opportunity to speak directly to him. You know, he's that kind of person. Um, he's a person of the people. You know, he really is. I mean, he's not necessarily the best person in the world, but as a person. But that's not for me to judge, nor for me to be living in a glass house with stones. That's certainly not my thing. I think there was a time in history where presidents needed to be elegant and extraordinary, and none of them have ever been. It's just how does the media treat them, right? I mean, that's really where it's been, this juxtaposition back and forth. But now it's juxtaposition on the same side. With that, hang out to the end after the outro video. Wait. You just answered your own question, Jennifer. How do we help neurodivergent students instead of seen instead of judged? Just answered my own question, Jennifer. Hey Daniel, can you that's a cool picture, by the way. I love that artistry, that eye. Can you clarify what your what you're talking about here. I know I'm tying in with Jennifer here. How do we help neurodivergent students feel seen instead of judged? Well, and that's the answer I was giving as far as flowing into Jennifer's question. So I hope I didn't miss something here. I don't know if I did. I'm about ready to sign off, Daniel, but Daniel Price, if you would hit me up real quick, I'd love to clarify. I'd love to chat with you a little bit here. And let's see if we can clarify what we're talking about here. Daniel, I'm going to do a countdown here. I'm going to pop off here if we aren't there. I don't know that it's going to happen. Can't post comments to some destinations. Oh, I wonder if that's what I wonder where Barbie's look. Hey, Barbie, producer Barbie, if you're in the background there, I just read you can't post comments to some destinations. So there's certain destinations you can't do comments. I don't know if you're looking at this on YouTube. By the way, we are streaming live to Facebook, to LinkedIn, to YouTube, to X, and to Instagram, all live and flowing heavy. So we've got 250 people on. Please subscribe and please like the episode. And with that, I am going to change this to this, and I am going to say, stay for the other side of the outro. You're going to see producer Barbie here make a couple of comments, and then I'll make some goofy little comment at the end.
Before you leave, if you'd like to watch another one of the podcasts, click the first link in the description. We love having you here and we appreciate all your support.
And with that, producer Barbie and I are out.